My first water filtration customer cost me $41 in Facebook ad spend. I closed him on my second lead. He paid $2,700 for a whole home filtration system. That is not a fluke, and it's not beginner's luck. It is what happens when the ad strategy is built around one thing that almost every operator in this space gets wrong. We did $60,000 in revenue in month one of Raleigh Water Pros. Every single lead came from Facebook. I want to walk you through exactly how that works, what the ads actually look like, what the numbers are, how I follow up, and the one thing I figured out in month one that changed how I think about lead generation entirely. Let's get straight into it. One quick thing before we get into the breakdown. If you're watching this and you are already thinking about building a water filtration business or adding it to what you have, the link in the description is how we work with partners directly. We build the business alongside you, we take a small stake, and we stay in it with you long term. The link is there whenever you are ready. Now let's get into the strategy. The first thing you need to understand about running ads for a water filtration business is that you are not trying to convince anyone that they need clean water. Culligan has been spending millions of dollars a year building that awareness for decades. EcoWater has been doing the same. Every big dealer in this space has been running national campaigns telling homeowners why their water is bad and why they should care. You do not need to start with any of that. By the time someone clicks on your ad, they already know that they want the product. They probably have already been quoted by one of those big companies at $7,000 or $10,000 or $12,000, and they are back on their phone scrolling because they thought they could not afford it. Your job is to intercept that person at a price that actually makes sense for them. That is the whole philosophy. You're not creating demand, you're harvesting it. And that distinction changes everything about how you build your ads. Now let's talk about what the ads actually look like. I'm running two types of creatives right now, and they serve completely different purposes. Static image ads are all about the offer. You see the system, you see the price, you see what it does. That's it. No story, no education, no personality, just a clear offer at a price that makes the viewer stop and say, wait, this is a third of what the other company quoted me. These convert people who are already in the market and just need a reason to click. Video ads work a bit differently. The first 1 to 3 seconds call out the homeowner directly, who they are and what problem they're dealing with. Whether that is that they cannot find affordable water filtration, their water has been causing problems at home, or they looked into it before and got a price that made them walk away. You name the person and you name their situation right at the start, and then you educate. You explain what they actually need, why the price does not have to be what they were told, and what the next step is. The targeting principle that matters most here is your targeting lives in the creative, not in the settings. You're not relying on Facebook's interest targeting to find the right people. You're calling the right person out in the ad itself. And then you're letting the algorithm find more of whoever engages with it. Broad works in this model specifically because the creative is doing the filtering itself. Now let's look at the numbers. And I want to give you the actual numbers from month one because I think people talk about lead gen in the abstract way too often. Cost per lead on our better performing ads is sitting between $40 and $45. That's what it costs to get someone to fill out a form and express interest in a water filtration system. Cost per acquisition, meaning the cost per closed install, is around $300. That is the number that actually matters, not the cost per lead. What is the cost to close a paying customer? On a $3,000 average ticket, spending $300 to acquire a customer with $1,100 in gross margin after materials and sub cost is very strong unit economy. The math works with room to scale. And the first customer I ever closed in this business cost me $41 in ad spend. I got my second lead ever, called him, and closed him on the same call. That is not the average, but it is proof of what happens when the lead quality is right and the follow-up is immediate. So let's talk a little bit further about follow-up, because in my opinion, it's the thing that actually closes most of the deals. Response odds drop dramatically after the first 60 seconds. I know that sounds extreme, but it is real. The moment a lead comes in, I am calling. Not in 5 minutes, not after I finish what I'm doing, within 10 seconds if I can manage it. And when I get on the phone, I tell them right away that they're going to get a price on this call and it'll only take a few minutes. Then I go straight into discovery. I'm asking questions, understanding what their actual problem is, what they care about most, whether it's better tasting drinking water, longer lasting appliances, softer water for their hair and skin, or all of it. I'm listening to what they say, and then I'm prescribing the right system based on what what they told me, not running through a features list. I price anchor before I give them the number. I reference what a competitor system costs or what an in-home company would charge them, and then I give them our price in that context. It lands completely differently when the comparison is already in the room. And if they do not buy on that first call, I don't stop. Most deals close somewhere between the 7th and 12th contact. A lead that does not respond is not a no, it's a not yet. And I keep following up until I get a clear answer in either direction. One thing I've worked so hard to train myself and everyone that I work with on is that if somebody fills out a lead form asking to get more information about something and you don't get a hold of them, that does not mean that they're not interested. Think about how busy we all are. It's very possible that they are just missing your contacts or just not seeing your outreach when you send it. I reach out until I get a hard no or a hard yes, and I don't accept a non-answer somewhere in the middle. So here is what most people get wrong. The biggest thing I figured out in month one is this. Most people who say their leads are bad are lying to themselves. Not intentionally, but when conversions are low, the natural thing to blame is lead quality. The leads are unqualified. The leads aren't serious, the leads are too expensive, and sometimes that's true. But in most cases I've seen, the problem is not the lead. The problem is the sales process. When someone fills out a form for water filtration, they have already opted in. They already know what it is. They've already seen the price. If they're not converting, the most likely reasons are that the follow-up is too slow, the call is going on without proper discovery, or the price is being hidden instead of being put on the table immediately. Advertising in this business is not complicated. You are getting an educated audience in front of your offer and collecting their information. That is the job of the ad. From that point, it is entirely a sales and follow-up problem. If your closing rate is low, look at your processes before you obsess about your targeting. So that is the full ad strategy behind month one of Raleigh Water Pros. The philosophy, the two creative types, the real numbers, the follow-up process, and what I think most people get wrong when they look at lead generation in this space. None of this is complicated. The market is not saturated. The competition is barely running paid ads at all. The demand exists. The unit economics work. The only variable is whether the operator on the other end of the lead is following up fast enough and selling confidently enough to close it. If you want to build a business in this space with real support behind you, the link is in the description. We partner directly with operators, take a small stake, and we help you get your first client within 90 days, or we keep working with you until we make sure it happens. Next video, I'm breaking down the competitive landscape in water filtration and why the market is more wide open than most people realize. If you've been wondering whether there is actually room for a new operator in this space, that one is worth watching. I'll see you there.